This is Setting the Tone with me, Katie, and Ben Coda.
This is Setting the Tone, where you can ask Mark and Ben anything you want.
Within reason.
Welcome to episode 2 of Setting the Tone.
Yes.
So
April's version.
April version, yeah.
April edition.
Yes. Which is our exclusive podcast for people who have subscribed to us on Patreon. Patreon.com/Setting the Tone, but you know that anyway if you're listening to it. And first up, we have got to go through some of our patrons and just say a big thank you to everybody who's subscribed so far. I'm just going to go through a few names. So my awesome girlfriend Agnes, number 1. Chris Piazza, Jeff Taylor, Johnny Hunter, Spiro Pope, Sam Warren.
Who have we got here? Kim Island, my friend Kim, who I'm going to see on Wednesday. David Hartling, another friend of ours. Scientist, Sarah. Sarah Scientist. Tony Ramirez, Matt Bartholomew, Danny McMillan, and Gerard Townsend, or is it Jared Townsend.
And there's a couple more. Russell Cameron and Sam Evolution, whose birthday was last weekend, I think. So happy birthday, dude.
Happy birthday.
Yeah. We've had quite a few questions for you for this one. So I'm going to start with one for Mark.
Okay.
Which is from Sasha Rothfield O'Brien, Lucas's wife. Hey Sasha, Sastra. I'm getting that whole name thing again. Sastra. So she wants to know, what does your name mean? Why meat, and who is Katie?
Right.
I think I asked you this a while ago.
You know this story, don't you?
I can't remember though.
Well, there's 2 stories.
Right.
I'll tell the true one,
Yeah.
and then. But I made a story up. I'd done an interview in New Zealand, in Auckland once. I'd kind of got bored. I was doing a tour for my Vibrator album, and I was doing like a lot of press, so I kind of got a little bit bored being asked the same question, which was, where do your name come from? Where do your name come from? So I thought it was funny to come up with this story, which was that my mum was a pro wrestler. She was the first women's pro wrestler. Yeah. And the guy, I could see when I was talking to him, he was getting really engaged in this story. So the more I could see his eyes light up. I said, and she was tested for PEDs, performance enhancing drugs,
right, okay.
and this is way before,
people doing them regularly.
Yeah. And because she was a big woman, and she was quite masculine. She kind of had to prove that she was a woman,
right? Because
she looked quite large,
looked quite manly. So that's
very
manly, she was a man.
And she had a deep voice,
right?
So she had to prove, and she was basically kicked out the Olympics, for performance enhancing drugs, which she didn't. So her name was Kate.
Right, I'm starting to believe you now.
So I took the name Katie,
right?
And because she was a bit meaty,
right,
basically trying to prove my mum's innocence, in Olympic pro wrestling. It's a statement.
Yeah, it's like a tribute to your mum.
It's a tribute to my mum.
Ah.
So that's all bullshit. What the real story is, I was just looking for a name. I come from a live background. I was looking to start a band, and I just saw the name Meet Katie written down the side of a 16mm, what are they called?
Like
cine film.
Yeah.
I just liked the name of it.
Yeah.
It was in the erotic section. I thought it'd be a good name for a band. And, I just didn't get round to recruiting any other members. Yeah,
because when I first heard of you, I thought you were a woman.
It's a weird name. Yeah. It wasn't a conscious choice. I didn't think, I'm going to be DJ Meet Katie or anything like that. I just
saw it and it kind of clicked. And
then obviously as time went on, I couldn't change it. So I just ended up with a very weird production and DJ name, which is sort of stuck.
Yeah, cool.
So there you go.
We had a few questions from my girlfriend Agnes. So thank you, Agnes. First up, she asked, how did we meet? I think it was Grinder,
It
wasn't
was
it?
definitely on Grinder.
Yeah.
We got matched up on an algorithm.
Yeah. Bald.
Two
Looking for bald DJs.
One's passive and one's aggressive.
Yeah, I think that's about right. Okay, so there you go. That's the answer to that. Okay, another one from Agnes is, who is your hero and what would you ask them if you could? Do you want me to go at this one first?
Yeah, you go.
One of my first heroes was Jimi Hendrix, who was basically just amazing, playing guitar and music and everything. I don't know what I'd ask him, really. Probably just like to hang out with him, really, 'cause he's a pretty cool dude. And then one of my second heroes when I was growing up was Kirk Hammett from Metallica. And I'd just ask him how he makes his fingers move so fast when he's playing guitar, because he's a bit of a shredding king. And more recently, probably Sasha. And I'll just ask him what some of the tracks are on some of his mixes back from like around 2000 time, because nobody knows what they are.
Right.
You go through like the track listings, it just says ID, on all the killer tunes.
Right.
It's just all these exclusive tracks that nobody's ever got, like his exclusive promos and white labels and stuff. So
Nice.
yeah, secrets.
Yeah.
Find out secrets. What about you, Mark?
Heroes. Probably comedians, really. I like comedians I particularly like. Louis C.K. and Jim Jeffries I particularly like. And more recently, Tom Segura.
Oh, yeah.
I really like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's not really what I'd ask of. It's just, just be nice to hang out with some, like, naturally funny people just to spend the afternoon.
You probably find they're not naturally funny in real life.
Yeah, probably.
Shits.
Real arseholes.
It's all an act.
DJs wise, a big hero of mine is Andy Weatherall.
Oh, yeah.
Anyone that knows anything about Andy Weatherall, he's a bit of an artiste. He hit at the same time as Paul Oakenfold, and I mean, arguably, Paul Oakenfold went on to become like a multi-millionaire sort of dance music mogul.
Yeah.
And Andy Weatherall, although he produced, he didn't produce. Did
he do Nightmares on Wax? Was that him?
No, it was Screamadelica.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah. I would say that he kind of stuck with his art, and he's kind of sort of just I wouldn't say unsung, because a lot of people, certainly my age group, would know what he's done.
Yeah.
Well, I've been in America before, mentioned Andy Weatherall, and they look at me blank.
Yeah.
It's like, who the fuck is he?
Who's he in EDM?
Yeah. So yeah, probably some comedians, heroes, and Andy.
Yeah, cool. We got one more from Agnes, which was, what was the moment or event that got you into electronic music? I mean, for me, it wasn't really. I suppose it was a sort of a moment, but I was always into metal in my teens, and then when I was about 15, my mate played me Prodigy Out of Space.
All right.
And that was it. I was just like, whoa, what is this? I was hooked, and then kind of went into the rabbit hole, and then just went from there. So I think that tune was the one that did it for me.
And that's a big tune.
Yeah.
A friend of mine, Jason O'Brien, who he records with Dub Pistols now. He brought a sampler. I think he brought an Akai S1000, and I had a load of records because I used to collect old funk. I still got now, and I just had a load of breaks.
Yeah,
we just sort of sampled up some breaks and started writing some music, and that's how I got into electronic music. But I'd been going out, been going to parties, but I had no ambitions to be a DJ or a producer or anything like that. I wanted to be a bass player in a skate punk band. Yeah. Kind of went off track somewhere.
Went off piste somewhere along the line. Okay. Andy Companies. Hello, Andy. How you doing, mate? He has asked what your favourite flavour of fruit pastels is.
I like the lime ones and I like the blackcurrant.
Lime ones, yeah. Blackcurrant. Blackcurrant ones are they're the black ones, aren't they? Yeah. If they could do like a whole packet of black ones, then I'd be really happy.
Yeah, why don't they do that? Why don't they just have packets dedicated to
They should do, really. I like putting like more than one fruit pastel in my mouth at the same time. So like 4.
Flavour burst.
Yeah, get a massive flavour burst, all different flavours. Yeah. Do you like wine gums?
Nah.
Stick to your teeth.
I'm too worried that my teeth fall out.
Yeah, they're a bit too hard, aren't they? Yeah. So yeah, Andy, the black ones. Blackcurrant, definitely.
Yep.
Right, next. Spiro Pope sent over quite an interesting question, actually. It's quite long, so I'll read it out. He said, Techno and Psytrance, unlikely bedfellows, and he's thinking about the Liquid stage at Glade, and also at Noisley Now, Boom and Azora, He says he's not a massive fan of the Psy sound, but he loves the fact that techno often seems to run alongside it. He talks about acts like me and Nanoplex and DJs like Geo. But he says culturally they seem very different, with Psy having a whole culture and techno seems to be just pure hedonism, and we'd love to hear our thoughts on it. It's an interesting one. I mean, to start with, I think they are quite likely bedfellows, because my girlfriend has got her nickname as the Trance Queen. So I don't know. Someone described me as the king of progressive techno like ages ago in an article. So there you go.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. So maybe not so unlikely, but I'm finding from kind of playing at these events like Boom and Azora that they're kind of coming together a bit more now, and the Psy crowd seem to be sort of opening their minds up a little bit, and this didn't happen a few years ago, to the more kind of progressive techno sound and the more psychedelic techno stuff. And I think that's a really good thing, because, the psychedelic community is a really strong community, and a lot of the guys that are doing the techno sound, I've been into psytrance for ages, and I always used to go to Glade, and before then I was going out to things like Return to the Source and Escape from Samsara, and like the kind of really like psychedelic music. But I guess not everyone likes it that fast, and so it's good to have stuff that's a bit slower with that psychedelic edge to it, that you can go along to, either if you want to break from the psytrance or if you're not even into that kind of side of things. So I don't know, I think culturally in some ways they are quite sort of similar, and it is the same people who are dancing to both of them. I mean, I suppose if you go into a techno club in London, it's gonna not be a psychedelic crowd there, really. But then I'd say that techno, probably that side of techno, also has its own quite strong culture. I mean, it is pretty hedonistic, but then I'd say the psychedelic scene is pretty hedonistic too.
I'd say psychedelic is more hedonistic.
Yeah, absolutely.
Than techno, personally.
Yeah.
With techno, it's in other countries it's much more of a lifestyle. Whereas the thing that I noticed with like psychedelic music, they live and breathe it in places like Goa and Israel and places like
absolutely.
that.
Yeah.
So I mean, why wouldn't they work together?
Yeah. I think there is a lot of and a lot of the sounds and kind of even the vibe of especially the stuff that we're doing with Nanoplex, it's got that psychedelic vibe to it.
Yeah, like a rolling sound.
Yeah, and it doesn't really have to be fast and have those kind of stock psytrance sounds in it to be psychedelic. I actually personally don't think that's very psychedelic at all. I think the more psychedelic stuff is stuff with big bass lines that kind of like sucks you into like a kind of a hypnotic kind of vibe, and like having some proper weirdness in there that actually really takes you on a trip and makes it psychedelic. So I think that probably what we'll find is that they'll come together even more in the future. And the thing I've noticed at these big festivals is that the techno stage or the second stage is growing and growing and growing. So I think it's a healthy thing, really. I think it's good.
On the note of Noisley,
we had another question from Liquid James Anthony, who has heard on the grapevine that we might be doing a Lowering the Tone takeover at Noisley this year. He asks, is this true? And if so, what can we expect? Is it true, Mark?
Yes, it is true.
It is true.
Yes, it is. Yep. Myself, Ben, and Dopamine's coming with us.
Yeah, he's coming with us. Yep.
So Matty's gonna be there.
We're gonna do a takeover in one of the stages on Saturday evening. I think we're down from like.
Is it the Treehouse stage?
It's not the Treehouse stage. It's
called?
The playground stage. I think
Okay.
it's kind of it's back behind the row of shops and stalls and stuff. But I think we're down from 7 till 12 or something like that. So we've got a nice, or 4 till 11, or 5 till 11. So we've got a good block of a few hours.
Nice.
Which we're going to just, I don't know, we'll just kind of work it out between us.
We're not going to play any music. We're just going to talk.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. We aren't going to play any music. We're just going to have like a open mic Q&A.
Sit on the stage on chairs.
Matt is a really good chef, so he's going to do a barbecue, and we're just going to sit around. We might even get a guitar out, sing some songs. Or
and
something, so.
Eat some food.
It'd be good.
So come along.
But in all seriousness, you will get to hear stuff from both our new albums.
Yep. A lot of stuff from the label.
You're going to get a lot of rolling prog techno, and it will be good vibes for the afternoon and evening, I think.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's going to be good.
I'm looking forward to that.
Chunky, I think.
We're doing Triplicity as
well. We're also doing
Triplicity,
Triplicity's a really cool party over on Exmoor.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, beautiful location.
Oh, I say that. Is it? I've been booked and I don't even know where it is.
I played for Triplicity a couple of times, and they recently moved to this new location, and It's absolutely perfect when the sun's out. It's lovely, but if it gets a bit windy and rainy, it can be sort of biblical. But fortunately, last year it wasn't when I was there. It's lovely. It's gonna be great.
So that's me, you, and
Neurodriver, yeah. And it's a real nice kind of chilled festival vibe. You know, they've got a trance. You know, as we were talking about trance and techno and side trance, they've got a side trance stage and they've got a techno stage. It'll be wicked. All the West Country crew out. So
fantastic.
Yeah, it's gonna be good.
My favourite people.
Yeah, definitely. So we're looking forward to both of those. It's gonna be awesome. Right, on to some more questions. Okay, so Brent James Bowyer or Bauer.
You and names are brilliant.
He has asked. Right, this is quite a long one that's got a bunch of questions in it. He said, "You guys always play a broad mix of styles, and which we do. Who's your favourite in each category, and do they cross over?" So should we do that one first?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot. You know, I like all genres.
Yeah.
There's something in every genre that I can
Absolutely.
find I like. So I mean, probably won't be able to name an artist.
It's hard to
each
pick out
genre.
favourites. Yeah,
can name a few people that are doing it for me.
Yeah.
I really like this Julian Jewel.
Julian Jewel. Yeah,
I like Pop-Off as well.
Pop-Off's wicked. Yeah,
big fan.
For sure. Yeah, I find, and on the do they cross over? That I mean, more and more they're crossing over now. Like, you know, you hear like say drum code stuff. We were talking about this earlier. It's like even that's got sort of progressive and trance elements in it now, but it's still got that techno vibe, and you know, there's kind of like even deeper prog house has got a bit of techno coming into it, and a lot of what we're doing now is that progressive techno stuff. So you know, it's kind of there's a huge crossover between everything, trippy techno. Yeah. So yeah, they definitely cross over. My favourites, Boris Brecker at the moment, probably Enrico Sangliano.
He's wicked
from Drum Code. Yeah. Really, really good. On the techno side of things. So it's hard to reel off a bunch of names, but those guys in particular are kind of doing it. He's also gone on to say, he said, are the different styles you're producing at the moment a deliberate thing or a natural progression?
I don't really think about it. When I write a tune, I just I get some drums up, start making some sounds, and it is what it is. I don't sit there and analyse what's going on in the scene. It's kind of it's I'd go as far as say it's a quality, but it's also a bit of a downfall because I end up making music that sits between genres. Which is all a bit of an uncomfortable place to be, actually. Yeah,
I've always done that, and I'm the same. I kind of write what's in my head that particular day. Yeah. And then when I go out and DJ, I DJ what, you know, it's kind of, you don't just play one sound for your whole set, do you? You know, it's kind of like a broad mix of stuff.
Yeah.
And you kind of then take it where the crowd needs to go and where you kind of want to take them in a way.
I'd say it's a natural progression.
It's definitely
not. Yeah, it's definitely not on purpose.
No, not really. No, and you know, I think it's a good thing to evolve the sound. I'd say, you know, mine personally is evolving a little bit, but it's not. It's still keeping that kind of core sound to it. And, and then he said, "Where do you see dance music heading in 2017?"
I mean, that's a $1 million question.
$1 million question. I think obviously techno is the big thing at the moment. Techno in inverted commas. Yeah. Which I don't think is going to come to an end anytime soon. I think probably. I don't know really. I'm hoping it gets a bit more progressive again. Like, you know, I mean, almost progressive with energy rather than progressive, like kind of slightly limp progressive, as I call it. Like, you know, the stuff that is just a bit boring. I'm hoping we get a bit more energy in the music again.
Less commercial. That's what I'd like.
Yeah, I like EDM just to fuck off really. Yeah, that'd be good.
I just can't answer that. I have no idea.
We'll tell you in 2018.
Yeah. Tell you at the end of I'll let you know at the end of the year.
And leading on from that, Thomas Ray has asked, when you're in a club playing out, how do you know what sort of mood the club is in terms of playing more up and down tempo tracks, darker or more melodic, etc.?
Right. Well, I don't tend to look at it like that. I tend to start playing, and I'm the one that decides on where the club's going to go vibe-wise.
Because you can see what the guy before you's been playing, so you've got a good kind of gauge, and then you can just test things out and go slightly in one direction or another and see what works, and then, you know,
like you say, you can see someone playing, and you can either pick it up from where they leave you and then take it where you want to go, or you can just press the reset button.
And just
when I'm not sure, I tend to come out tough. I always think, well, if I'm going to lose some audience, I prefer to lose them straight off. I don't want to lose them in the middle of my set.
Yeah, totally.
I want to end with a fuller dance floor rather than than you don't want people to drift. So I always think that, you know, come out swinging.
Come out swinging. Yeah, totally. I think there's a difference though, you know, between like, you know, what time you're playing. Like if you're playing in an afternoon at a festival, then there's obviously going to, when the sun's out, there's obviously going to be a slightly different vibe to what you're playing than if you're playing like in a basement in like Berlin or something like that. You know, it's there's you get a feel for what you can do at a particular time, but then I guess that is just kind of second nature really from being at those events so much, and you just kind of know. Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
you know, you know what music you have at your disposal, and you have to look at the room and just sort of decide on where you think that you want to take the audience rather than them dictate how they feel and you should be playing to their feelings. It can't really work that way, because if not, you're just a jukebox.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, a good question though, really good. Right, so we've got a few more. Hold on, I've just got to dial them up on my computer here. One sec. I've got to say, the response to the post that we put up has been great. So thank you everyone who asked the question. Right, okay, here we go. Oh, right, from Sam Warren, Whammy Cat. Why do you think there are so few women DJs? She asks, have you seen the initiative Fabric have set up to promote women in the industry? And she said that her partner's 8-year-old son saw her tractor controller and said in a shocked voice, but you can't be a DJ, DJs are men.
Well, he's got a point. I just think all the women are too busy in the kitchen.
Yeah, could be
cooking.
Cooking.
No. I am joking. Well, we actually discussed this earlier. Yeah. And I think
it's a really good question.
You had a good point about a small amount of women have kind of ruined it for the masses.
Yeah, kind of devalued it. Really.
By using their sexuality opposed to their talents as DJs. I don't actually know any female engineers now I think about it.
I don't know any female engineers. I know some female producers.
Yeah.
But it's nowhere near as common as male producers.
No.
But I think you're right. I think it's kind of like as a female looking to get into the scene, they'll probably see the various women who have either sort of bought their way to the top or slept their way to the top, or used their sexuality as a way to get gigs and as their appeal, and it might be quite off-putting really. I mean, it's
because if you're a woman, you don't want to be part of that.
No,
do you?
Not at all. No. Have you ever used your sexuality to get to the top?
All the time.
Yeah.
I've slept my way to the middle.
Slept my way to the bottom. So really good question, and I think there should be more female DJs. There's some really really good ones like Ellen Alien, like watching her live the other day. She's really good. Yeah.
Can't think of any more. What's her name? Miss Kitten. She's a moody cow.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
What about Magda? She's good.
Yeah.
Nicole Moodabus, she's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She looks great.
Yeah.
You see, this is the problem.
Well, yeah, that's
this
the
is
thing.
The
you
problem.
Immediately say that.
I'm thinking.
Do you think like lots of people go meet Katie?
She's hot.
He looks great.
Yeah.
I don't think either of us suffer from that problem. So,
no.
There you go. So yeah, thanks, Sam. That was a really good question and really got us thinking as well. So yeah. Jeff Taylor has asked, is music still a passion or more of a job? And would you still choose it as a career or do something else? I mean, for me, it is my job now. It wasn't for a long time, but I recently kind of quit my 9 to 5 and I'm doing music full time now, which is absolutely brilliant. But it's taken me 20 years to get here. It's a long old slog to get to that position. So it is a job, but it's always been my passion, like more than anything. And the dream was always to turn it into a job. So it's got that kind of core running through it of the passion. I guess it's like someone who's an architect and loves designing buildings, and then that's their passion, and then it becomes their job.
Yeah.
Would you still choose it as a career? I don't know if I'd recommend it to someone as a career. I probably would still choose it as a career. I may have done some things differently as I was kind of working my way up the ladder. But it is a hard slog, and like most industries or most jobs, there's a lot of pitfalls along the way. And there's a lot of people, what's the word, who are kind of not in it for the right reasons, let's say. And
It's a gamble, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a real gamble, and you know, there's no safety net, and there's no kind of like industry body regulating things, so it's a bit of a free for all. So you kind of you have to be very careful who you work with in the music industry. So I'd say it's both. It is more of a job, and there are parts of it that are more like doing a job. As you were saying earlier, like running a record label is not. You know, you don't
need to be creative to do stuff, paperwork.
But you know, writing music and going out and DJing is part of this job that is something that I'm really passionate about. So yeah, I guess it's a bit of both, really. So.
To get started in the music industry, you're gonna have to take a pay cut. Simple as that.
Absolutely. Well, do a lot of work while you've got a job as well.
Yeah, to try and it's difficult if you've got family because obviously you need to make money, and that's the problem with music. There's no guarantees you're going to make money.
Not at all.
So it's very difficult. It's interesting because Will Clark touched upon this, and he made a good point in that interview. That's available online now
on Patreon.
He made a really good point, saying the moment when it was a moment he thought he had made it, because he had picked up a residency and he was making a little bit of money. He didn't have to go to a full-time job every day, but he realised he hadn't made it. That was just
one
like
rung up
one
the ladder.
run. You have to be passionate about it. You wouldn't be able to do it otherwise.
You know, when I first started producing. Years ago, I had my 9 to 5, and then I'd get home from my 9 to 5 and do like 5 hours every night and just producing. And so it is a passion, and you have to kind of make those sacrifices in order to get there. And I've seen a lot of people fall at the first hurdle. You know, they realise that, you know, they'll get a tune out and then they think, oh, I'm going to be a superstar, yay! And then like nothing happens.
Yeah.
And so and also saying there's a lot of people in it for the wrong reasons. A lot of kind of very ego-driven people.
Yeah.
So it is a bit of a minefield. So I would still choose it, but I may not recommend it to someone who's just starting out their career who wants, you know, if they want success immediately, it's not going to happen.
Yeah,
you know.
I think you need to kind of start at a youngish age.
Yeah,
as
definitely.
Well, to give yourself a fighting chance.
Yep.
Saying that, the podcast, like we're doing now, I really enjoy it.
Yeah.
That doesn't seem like work at all. I'd probably do that anyway.
But then there is a bit of work, you know, putting the mix together afterwards and actually the editing of it and stuff. And
then the promoting it, just getting the nuts and bolts of it to get it out in the marketplace is quite a lot of work.
Yeah, for sure. So I think a bit of both, really.
Yeah,
absolutely. Good question, though. Russell Roy Cameron has asked a couple of questions. So he says, what prerequisites do you have when selecting producers for your remixes? Got to be good.
I think it's as simple as this. If I like their music, I'm quite
always
fussy,
very picky. Very picky. You want to pick someone who's going to do something with the original that's not the same as the original too. You know.
Yeah, I mean, we don't tend to pick people that sound like the artist anyway. We're not going to go and pick another progressive techno artist to remix a progressive techno track. No. They have to have a different sort of flavor. They need to bring something to the party. Yeah. That we can't do ourselves, you know,
and they need to be as good as the original. So the product has got to be at least as good as.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. But then we don't. I mean,
none of the guys are working with in any way.
Quality is very important.
Quality is very important. Yeah. Nice people.
It does help. It does help. Yeah. Not everyone that we approach says yeah.
Yeah.
You know, there's a few people that I've approached and they ignore you.
But it's also, I mean, like, as Will Clark was saying in the interview, you know, it's being kind of nice is one of the very important things, and you know, you're more likely to work with someone if they're receptive, and they kind of communicate with you, and they're kind of, you know, they're
easy to work with.
Yeah.
I think this is why, interesting enough, Sonny Wharton's done very well because he's such a decent guy.
He's wicked.
And the way that he approaches music and the way that he approaches it, running his label is very much like. I think he gets the best out of people.
Totally straight up as well.
Yeah, just really honest, straight.
Yeah, absolutely.
So being a decent person and being good at what you do, if you've got both of those traits, then let us know and you've got a remix.
We like it when people send in loads of different versions of the tune to master as well, don't we?
Yeah. Audio Anonymous.
And also dopamine.
Oh, Matt.
Yeah. By the end of it was like
Master.
Yeah.
But
we love you guys though.
Yeah. If you're a remixer and I'm working with you, we're gonna do. There's gonna be a remix. I ask just a couple of things. Make sure you send the master that you actually want mastering, and title it as well. A couple of little things.
Russell's also asked, do either of you have a favourite essential mix from BBC?
I like the David Holmes one, only because it was so different at the time. And I love funk, jazz, rare groove. Yeah. And he just came up with an amazing essential mix. That was good.
Yeah, there's an old Dave Seaman one that I really liked. I can't remember when it was from, but it'd be like the late 90s, I think, when he played a lot of prog house, like proper prog house in it. And there's an old Oakenfold one from the early 90s, like the Goa mix, which is one of the first times I heard Goa trance, and he was mixing it all up with like the Blade Runner theme tune and stuff, like Vangelis, and kind of it all gelled together really well. And I think that was an introduction to a lot of people to the Goa trance sound. Right. He kind of picked up on that quite early. So those two probably.
Tiga,
yeah.
He done a good essential mix. That was ages ago.
Yeah, I quite got into his stuff when he put his first album out. But
his first essential mix was very good. I don't know if he's done more than one.
No. Kim Ireland has asked, "What is your greatest drunken experience?" I saw that question. I was just like, well.
Last night,
Saturday night.
I'm struggling through this podcast because I'm really hungover.
Yeah, it's all right. I don't know. Maybe you can tell him when you go and see him tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm going to see Kim on Wednesday. The thing is, I've noticed about drinking is I always
great.
for a few days afterwards, I'm like, I just need a break. I'm never going to do that again. And then I just have one glass of wine or a cocktail or even a beer, and I'm like, I'm off to the races.
Yeah, hair of the dog.
Yeah,
best cure, isn't it?
Yeah,
absolutely.
There's a reason why I'm not drinking today.
Yeah.
Ben's drinking some wine.
I'm having a couple, because I had a slightly large weekend.
If I start because I'm flying to Australia in the morning, if I have one drink now, that could be in doubt. If I make
but you'll get free booze on the plane, won't you?
Yes.
That's all right. You have to kind of like. I've noticed now on the planes they're not so keen to give you shitloads of booze, so you have to kind of like. Go and like find the stewardesses you haven't asked. Yeah. There's like a little game.
There's an etiquette.
You can wander around the other side of the plane and ask you can definitely still do it though.
On the big planes though, they have have two kitchens, so you can mix and match.
Yeah, the bar was unguarded last time I went to Australia, the Spirit Bar, so helped us off to a couple.
Yeah, we don't want to glorify drinking
much. No.
But on planes, I mean, what else are you going to do?
What else are you going to do? And you get more drunk when you drink on
There's
plane.
something, I don't know. Have you noticed on planes, like I heard a podcast, someone was talking about this, saying that your emotional state is you're heightened, and that's why they don't want you to drink so much on the plane, because when people are drunk, they're more emotional and they're worried about like the flight rage and stuff like that. That's why they've started to kind of try and control it a little bit.
I wonder why I was crying when I watched Batman versus Superman on the plane. It
doesn't take much for me to cry at a film.
Okay, interesting. Oh, hang on, I've just seen another question. Sorry, that we haven't asked. Joshua Peterson. Hey, Joshua. He says, what was some inspirational or influential DJs, producers, people in general, when you began DJing or producing / Lot 49, and who are the people that influence and inspire you now?
Well, I was really lucky. I mean, the people that I really admired, like Lee Coombs and Marvin, Dylan Rhymes. Yeah.
Did you admire Marvin?
Hey?
Did you admire him?
I don't know if admire is the right word. But I was really lucky. They're mates, and I liked their music.
Yeah,
we kind of sort of had a little sound that seemed to work because a lot of us come from house.
Yep.
Whereas at the time, breaks in general was kind of a lot of those people had been defectors from drum and bass.
Yeah, or a very broken beaty stuff. Whereas what you were doing was more 4/4.
Yeah,
but like had that breaks vibe.
Yeah, more sort of simplified drum pattern rather than a kind of mad broken beat. So I was just lucky, really. I was lucky
Yeah.
that the people that I admired, I sort
Yeah.
of become friends with,
Yeah.
and then we sort of all kind of gravitated towards. And I've always run labels since I sort of started. I've always been a bit of DIY.
Yeah.
I always think that I can put out music as good or if better than some of the other labels. So once I started Lot 49, all the people that I really admired and I liked kind of sort of congregated around that label. So that's how it kind of developed a sound and a style.
Awesome.
And they're the people that, I'm very proud of the music we put out.
Yeah, for real. I'd say, I'm just going to do Inspire Me Now. I mentioned him earlier as Boris Brecker. I mean, I think it's important when you're producing music to have someone who you kind of look up to, who's always doing something a bit better than you, who you can kind of like aspire to write music like that. And right now it's Boris Brecker because when you listen to his mixes and the way everything's put together and the actual production quality, it's insane. It's just insane. So right now, the stuff I'm writing now, I look towards that as, even if I could achieve 70 or 80% of it, then that'd be good. But that's how I'm looking up to at the moment. Definitely, yeah.
It's a bit like when you first start playing a guitar, you start to learn like Led Zeppelin songs, or I use that as an example.
Well, I mentioned earlier Kirk Hammett on the guitar.
Yeah.
I'd love to be able to play like that, but I just could never move my fingers that fast.
So I guess it's the same with production. If you start writing dance music, you're gonna lean towards the people that you admire. You're gonna want to, So you mean I guess as a producer, you can kind of listen to stuff and you go, oh yeah, I could do that, or I'm as good as that. But then I think it's important to have someone who you go, whoa, like how the fuck did they do that? And then you got something to work towards, and something to look up to. There's a few people like that.
Yeah,
I listen to their music and I just go, oh, fucking hell.
Yeah, and it's also good to have the humility to be able to do that. I know some producers who just go, no, I'm the best, this fan, like nothing's as good as what I'm doing. It's like, well, no, actually, come on, there's always someone better than you. Yeah, definitely.
So there you go.
So that is pretty much it, question-wise.
Thank you for anyone that's listening to this, because that means that you signed up.
Yeah, awesome. Big up.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, your support is very much appreciated, and I think, as we've said, it's kind of the way that we're hoping to sort of expand this. Yeah. And keep it ad-free, and also, kind of hopefully at some point take it on the road, maybe even.
Yeah, maybe take it out of my front room.
Take it out your front room, be nice.
We spend
go to people rather than go to you. Got to come to us.
Yeah, we spend a lot of time sitting in my front room talking.
Well, we'd love to get a studio set up. I mean, and this would all go towards that, so that'd be lovely.
Yeah, and everyone's invited over.
Yeah, party at ours.
Yeah.
Okay, so there you go. Thanks, Mark.
Thanks, Ben.
Yeah, see you next time.
Bye.